All right, so in this lesson, we're going to learn how to add a health bar component into the game. So we're going to use our knowledge of images to help us out, and we're going to jump into Paint and actually do this using Paint and create our own health bar. So if you go down here and click, you can go into Paint. You can also type in Paint if it doesn't appear. And then from here, we can essentially resize our picture. Now it's currently set to be huge image. I'm going to change this image to be 200 pixels in width, and then I'm going to unclick this maintain aspect ratio and change this to be just 50. So if I click OK, there is my beautiful health bar that I'm creating. Now I want to give it some color. So if I click on color, I can click on the paint and I can color it red. So essentially what I need to do here is I need to save my picture. So I'm going to do save as. You can pick any of these. I'm just going to save it as a JPEG. Save it in my downloads folder so I know where to find it. And I'm going to give it a good name like health bar so I know what it's called, how to find it, etc., etc. So if I click save, I've now created a health bar. You can spend more time making a more complicated health bar if you choose. I'm just going to leave it at that simple. So here now we can go into our files, go into the computer science folder and open up the Visual Studio application. We're going to create a new project. This one is going to be called Unit 5, Lesson 3, Health Bar. Press OK. Now you'll be into MonoGame, and what we need to do is we need to load our picture that we created in via the content folder. So if you right-click on content, do add existing item. Remember where you saved it. I saved mine in downloads. I need to drop this down, all files, so I can see my health bar, add that into my program, and then I need to change its copy to output directory to be copy always. So now I've got that picture in there. I'm good to go, and now I can start actually trying to create a health bar. So from here, I know that if I'm bringing in a picture, I need a texture 2D and a rectangle object. So I have a textured 2D object called health bar. And then I'm going to have a rectangle object to pair up with that called health bar rect. And from here, I know I need to initialize my rectangle. So here I have health bar rect. We're going to set that equal to a new health bar rect. Now they match. Equals a new rectangle. I need to give it dimensions. So I'm going to have it start so it's in the upper right hand corner. I know I have a width of 200, so I want it to start with an x coordinate of 600, a y coordinate of 0. Then it will have a width of 200 and a height of 50 because that was the size that I made my original health bar. Now from here I go into load content, and here I'm going to have health bar, going to access this folder, go into the content folder, going to load in a texture 2D object. And then from here, this is called healthbar.jpg. So make sure it matches whatever the file is that you brought in over here. Now, if I go down to the draw section, this is where I draw it to the screen. So I have sprite batch.begin. I'm getting a little ahead of myself there. Sprite batch.end. Sprite batch.draw, and then inside of here I need to put my parameters. So I want to draw my health bar texture 2D object inside of the health bar rectangle with the color background of colored dot. So now from here, if I press start, what should happen is it should appear in the upper right-hand corner of my screen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my code so that my health bar will decrease over time. And now I'm going to reference my PowerPoints and talk about this a little bit. So we've already talked about how our game loop runs 60 times per second. What we're going to do is we're going to decrease the health bar width by 1 pixel each 60th of a second. So what we can do is we can access the width coordinate here. We can, not coordinate, but the width property here. And we can change that every 60th of a second that our program runs. So here, let's go into our update section. And all we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, every 60th of a second, I want my health bar rectangle, and I want the width of that health bar rectangle to decrease by 1. So I want health bar, I didn't spell that right, rect dot width, and I want it to decrease by 1. Now note, you could also, instead of having equals health bar rect dot width minus 1, you could also use that shortcut of minus minus. So what we're going to do here is when you press start, what you will notice is my health bar decreases, and then it's gone. So it decreases that width at 60 times per second until that width completely hits 0, and then it disappears from the screen. So you'll notice on your program assignment for this particular unit that I give you a few different tasks that I want you to try and meet. So I want you to try and fix those problems, then get it checked off by me, and then you'll be able to move on to the next lesson. So see if you can problem solve with your own self-created health bar. That will come into play as we do our next project at the end of Unit 5.